I want to show you, using this paper model, how to knit a jacket or a cardigan, but out of a rectangle without having to do any increasing or decreasing. So I call this an origami cardigan. There are other people who use the term origami, but they mean something different. So this is what I mean when I say origami. This works really well if you have a color pooling yarn, because you have the same number of stitches all the way across, and so you can get vertical stripes and intentional color pooling, and you don't have to do any increases or decreases. It works really well if the length of the skein is an even multiple. So if this is 2 times around the skein or 4 times around the skein or something like that. So you want an even multiple for the skein for this distance. So you cast on at the bottom and you work up until you get to the underarm. Work some waste yarn back and forth here and here. So this is the first quarter, and this is the last quarter, and this is the middle 50% of the stitches. So 25%, 50%, 25%. You'll have to break the yarn and then join it back on, and then keep going, and you keep going until you get to the back of the neck. And at that point, you will need to either divide into 2 skeins or introduce a steek, because you're going to need it to open here, and you'll want to bind off and then cast back on, and you keep working back and forth, and this is the same number of rows as this, because this is the back of the sleeve and this will be the front of the sleeve. When you're done, this folds down, well, and you're going to pick out the waste yarn here. So this folds down, you pick out the waste yarn, and this folds over. And then you sew a seam here, you graft here, you graft here, you sew a seam here, and up at the top this folds down and you end up with a collar. Now if you don't want to graft, or if you're doing a stitch pattern where grafting here, that half stitch being off that you're going to get from grafting isn't going to look good, what you can do instead is still work up to the back of the neck, so the whole back of the sweater is worked as one big rectangle. Park it, you'll have to break the yarn. Come down here, pick out the waste yarn, and fold, and you have live stitches here and here and here and here. So you put all of that on a needle. Once again, you'll need to break into either 2 separate skeins or 1 skein but with steek stitches, and then work up the front of the sleeve, and this will be continuous then, so you won't have to graft it. The advantage of doing that method is, instead of having grafting and a seam here, you end up with a seam across the top, and since this is live and they're both live, if you do it that way, you end up with live stitches up here, and you just work 3 needle bind off across the top, and you're good. With that method, that second method, you can also do shaping at the neck. So I've worked a jacket where I did decreases along the edge, so I got a V-neck. So there you are. I haven't tried this with fabric yet, but I mean, I guess you could do it. I haven't tried it. But there you go. This is a way to make a cardigan or a jacket. You're essentially only knitting a rectangle, and it doesn't involve any increasing or decreasing. Enjoy!